countdown begin. Raze back live again. Pop culture, entertainment, of course, the hot topics. Traveling somewhere in the tropics. Usually preserved for smoke show panels, $1 million plays. We expanding the channel, they say opinions like assholes. Watch your mouth at all times and don't mess up the cash flow. We live.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Raze back live again on this Thursday night live stream, guys. It is D-Day tomorrow for Sean Diddy Combs, guys. Hit that like button as you guys come in. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I see you, Auto Wheel, in the building. Pathfinder in the building. Yo, what is happening? What is happening with this, guys? Man, I have my predictions tonight of what is going to happen tomorrow at sentencing. It is D-Day for Diddy. Will he get the 11 years that the prosecutors want, that they are asking for? I'm going to tell you what I think he should get, and I'm going to tell you what I am predicting what the judge is going to give him. Two different things. And I want you guys' opinions on what will Diddy get tomorrow. This is it, guys. I've been covering the trial since it started. I was at the courthouse for a few days during the summertime. And when the verdicts were read, I, covered it. And we thought that, Diddy would be getting bail because he was acquitted of the major charges. Obviously, he did not get the bail. The judge, Submarinian, denied him bail, and I'm going to get into that, the reasons why, and the reasons why I think Diddy might be looking at some significant jail time or prison time, actually, after tomorrow's sentence, guys. Now, this is good. Now, I'm not saying that I want him to get significant prison time, but I'm just looking at, I'm reading the tea leaves, and I am, analyzing this judge. It's all about what this judge has to say tomorrow. Hit that like button, guys. Now, there are many angles to take. There are many angles to take. First, let me see. First, let me see. Was it Pathfinder says that in 11 years he's going to get released in 11 years. Do y'all guys agree with Pathfinder? Diddy? Now he's staring 11 years down the, he's staring at 11 years because that's what the prosecution want. That doesn't mean he's going to get it. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys my prediction, what I think is going to happen tomorrow. Y'all guys know, when I was covering this, I did predict the verdict actually the night before. I did predict the verdict the night before when he was actually convicted. I said, look, this live stream right here, Diddy verdict prediction, not guilty of RICO and sex trafficking. Diddy will be found not guilty of RICO and sex trafficking, but guilty of the Mann Act, meaning guilty of the prostitution, transporting prostitutes across state lines for sexual purposes. I predicted that. That was the night before. I predicted that right there. So I have a good history of predicting these things, regarding Diddy, and I'm going to give y'all guys my prediction. Y'all see it in the title. But Pathfinder seems to think he's going to get 11 years. Now I don't think that. I'm going to give y'all guys my prediction of what's going to happen. I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think should happen. But that's two different things. What should happen and what I think is going to happen is two different things. Hit that like button, guys. Shout out to everybody. Let me see. Shout out to everybody who's been doing the Cash App donations. Cash App, $, Raze XX. Shout out to you guys. Zango is in the building. Salute to you, Zango. Let me see. Salute to you. Ajima's World is in the building. Salute to you, Ajima's World. Now, Maria. Hola, Maria. How you doing? Maria? Maria, do you think the judge is going to screw Diddy? Do you think the judge is going to screw Diddy? Now, I've been suspect about this judge since the beginning. Diddy has been turned down for bail about 4 or 5 times, right? And you would have thought that after he was acquitted of the RICO and the 2 counts of sex trafficking, that the judge would have granted him bail at least into sentencing. But there is something fishy going on, guys. There was something fishy going on. And I'm starting to think now that this judge has a vendetta against Diddy for whatever reason. he has a vendetta against Diddy for whatever reason. Y'all guys' guess is as good as mine. And now he probably didn't grow up a Diddy fan. He probably didn't grow up and listen. He has a Indian descent. He's of Indian descent. Now he probably didn't grow up a Diddy fan. For him not to give Diddy bail on four or five different occasions, especially after he was found not guilty on the major charges, is mind-boggling. First and foremost, and it's kind of scary to think if you are Diddy, what is this guy thinking? What is Judge Samaranian thinking? I got to be honest. That's why my prediction. I'm going to give you my prediction, and I'm predicting that this judge is going to give Diddy significant prison time. Shout out to Auto Wheels in the building. Salute you, Auto Wheel. Double click the screen to hit the like button, y'all. Yes, Diddy's paying Trump. Now, Trump, we're going to get into the Trump angle also. We're going to get to that Trump angle. Shout out to Anonymous is in the building. Salute you, Anonymous. Time served, says Maria. Hi, yeah, Carter 4 is in the building. Salute you, Carter 4. Diddy coming home, says Future World Films. What's up, Saint Nick? Now, guys, there has been letters sent to the judge, courtesy of Cassie Ventura. Now, Cassie Ventura is claiming that she still fears for her life. She fears that Diddy is going to try to get retribution and revenge on her, and that she had to move out of town because of it, and this and that, and that's why Diddy deserves to get the max in prison. Do you guys agree with Cassie Ventura? Is Cassie Ventura's life in danger still? Because, if Diddy is released, I say this. I say, look, if Diddy wanted to get revenge on Cassie, he would have did it already. He paid her the $20 million. She got an extra $10 million from the hotel she was assaulted in out in LA. And if Diddy really wants to, he could still get her touched from in prison, right? So even if Diddy is locked up in prison, that doesn't mean Cassie is 100% safe, right? If this is the case, so, and I would think that Diddy probably would really hate Cassie after paying her the $20 million and her sending a letter to the judges trying to get him to do 11 or 20 years, whatever. I think he would be even more mad at Cassie at that point. And at that point, he might try something. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying is, you might fear more. You might fear Diddy more if he gets sentenced to like 11 years. I don't know. Let's say you guys. Now, I'm just trying to make sense of the whole thing. He served time. He served time plus good time. Be home in a few months, says Future World Films. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? Smash that like button. Yeah, I want to hear what y'all got to say. What is he doing? What is he getting? Some people saying he's going to get time served. He should get time served. I'm going to give you my prediction. Like you said, you guys can see the title. Booker T, can you dig a sucker? They still trying to put that Pac case on him, says Booker T. I'm going to get to that. Like I talked to some of my friends. They always talk about the Pac thing and the guy that's in prison right now for the Pac murder, alleged Pac, for him, and the rumors coming out about Diddy and this and that. But I'm like, look, if they have evidence that Diddy was involved in that, then they need to go ahead and arrest Diddy for that crime. You know what I'm saying? That's separate from what he was just on trial for a couple of months ago. You know what I'm saying? And that's not how the justice system works. That's not how USA is supposed to work. You're supposed to have the trial, have the jury, and see if the evidence says that he's guilty or not. You know what I'm saying? And let the jurors decide. Ken Padmore, what up? Okay, we going to start talking Diddy and two drunks going to beef at the end of the night. Hey, who knows? I don't know. I might drop the link. Hey, Ken, I might drop the link. I don't know. I don't know if two drunks are going to come up here. You know what I'm saying? Ajima's World, Razor, you did a great job standing outside the courthouse. I hope you covered the hearing tomorrow. Yes, I think I'm going to be out there. There's going to be a lot of people out there tomorrow. I know Tisa Tell's going to be out there. Udo on a go. Sean G, the podcast with Soul going to be out there. A lot of people are going to be out there. And I'm saying this, it's going to be a lot of haters out there, a lot of haters. And what the jury did, when the jury came back with the verdict of, and this was the verdicts, guys, for people that don't know exactly what the verdict was, this was the verdict. When the jury came back with the verdicts of not guilty of the RICO, right? That RICO was a minimum of 10 years. So this judge he was going to have to give him a minimum of 10 years if he was found guilty of the RICO. Meaning, running a criminal enterprise, using bad boy records as a criminal enterprise. The jury said, no, it is not a RICO. Not guilty of that, right? That was count one. Then count two, they said, not guilty of sex trafficking, right? That was not guilty of sex trafficking. I believe that was of Jane or Cassie Ventura, one of them. And then count three was guilty of the Mann Act, which is engaging in prostitution, right? The Mann Act. That's what Jack Johnson got convicted of, and that what Trump gave a pardon for. Now Jack Johnson is long dead by now, but and then count four was not guilty of sex trafficking again, and that was of the Cassie, right? Cassie or Jane, but those sex trafficking charges had a minimum sentence of 15 years. 15 minimum. So the jury did not want to put Diddy on a hook for a minimum of 10 years for the RICO or 15 years for the sex trafficking. And then they found him guilty on count 5 for, once again, the Mann Act, prostitution, right? And now the Mann Act and the prostitution that he was found guilty of, it can go from 0 to up to 10 years on both counts, on each count. So Diddy technically could get 20 years in prison. But those are basically prostitution charges, bringing escorts across state lines to do sexual acts. Do you guys really believe Diddy, for the crimes that he was convicted of, which is the Mann Act, the prostitution, does he actually deserve 11 years in prison like the prosecution is trying to ask the judge for, guys? Hit the like button. I don't know. This is kind of crazy. Do you believe he was actually convicted, guys? He was only convicted of prostitution. And the prostitution and the prosecutors are coming back saying, look, he deserves 11 years because of the domestic violence. Hit that like button. Now, we got to talk about this. Wait a minute. This is not a trial about domestic violence. I know they kept showing that domestic violence inside the hotel, which is awful. But that need to be a separate trial somehow. I know probably the statute of limitations is over. Are we doing makeups here? What is this? They keep talking about violence. Wait a minute. He was not convicted of that. Hell, he wasn't even charged for that. This trial was about RICO. He was found not guilty of the RICO, not guilty of the sex trafficking. Now, my opinion, for the prosecution to go in there and ask for 11 years, that is insane. Hit that like button. Now, I know there is a lot of people out there that don't like Diddy. They don't like his, what he did to artists. They think he screwed artists over and this and that. And they say, you know what, give him all that time because of that. But that's not right. That's not the U.S. justice system. It's people actually telling me, oh, he probably has something to do with Tupac murder. Well, you can't put people in jail because of rumors and what you think. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this case and this judge has a obligation to follow the letter of the law. And I'm going to read to you what Diddy's team sent the judge earlier today. Diddy's team sent the judge something saying basically this is double jeopardy. The prosecutors are asking for 11 years and arguing stuff that the 12 jurors said he's not guilty of. So how can you sentence him and listen to these arguments about him beating Cassie or him coercing Cassie into prostitution and all this other stuff and Jane into prostitution when the juror says, no, he's not guilty of that because they had an opportunity to bury him by charging him with sex trafficking. Well, not charging him, but convicting him because he was charged with it. But the jurors did not convict him. They did not convict him of it. They say he's not guilty of it. So how can now the prosecution throw that in their arguments for the sentencing? He was found not guilty of the sex trafficking. So how in the world are you going to put that out there and use that for the sentencing? Hit that like button, guys. Yeah, this is D-Day. This is D-Day, guys. Free that man, says Passport Shogun. Free Diddy, says the travel POV. Diddy coming home tomorrow. Drinks on me. Shout out to you, Rondo. I appreciate you. Any Cash App donations is appreciated. I'm going to give y'all guys my prediction of what's going to happen. I'm going to give you my what should happen. Time serve release tomorrow. Saint Nick says. Let me see. Iris Wood says, since Puffy didn't have no priors, I thought that was going to have more weight. Yeah, I mean, but this Judge Severanian, like I said, I've never, like, this is wild because once he was not found guilty of these charges, the main ones, I thought for sure he was at least going to give him bail. It didn't do a sentence. You know, it seemed like he could at least give him bail. I mean, he was going to put up like, what, 50 million or whatever, collateral. I mean, my God. Like, now, I've seen murder. I've seen people that was on trial for murder get bail. You know what I'm saying? He could at least give him bail after the trial, like after he was found out guilty of the RICO and sex trafficking. That's why, guys, and I'm going to put this out here right now. That's why I think this judge is biased against Diddy, and I think he's going to give Diddy, I think he's going to split the baby. The prosecution wants 11 years. I think the judge is going to give Diddy 4.5 years. Well, I'm going to say 4. I think he's going to give him 4 years with time served. And I think the judge is tempted to give him 10 years or 11 years because he doesn't like him. But I think the judge knows if he goes too high on the sentencing, the appeal, Diddy is going to win on appeal. Diddy will win on appeal, and I don't think the judge wants that. Because if he gives them 10 to 11 years, I was telling somebody earlier, dude, I mean, that's an easy appeal for Diddy's team. They were like, wait a minute, who else that was charged with the Mann Act and got sentenced to this amount of time with no priors? You know what I'm saying? And so I think obviously, I think the judge wants to give him 10, 11 years, but I think the judge is going to be smart enough to be like, you know what? I don't think I could give him that high, you know what I'm saying, amount, because obviously he's going to appeal and he will win that appeal. Now, the Trump factor. Now, Trump has made statements about Diddy. Now, I don't believe now Trump will pardon Diddy. If he does, it'll be a shocker to me, even though, but I know Trump likes the headlines, but I don't think he would do it because Trump did not like what Diddy, the statements Diddy made about him when he was running for president. He said Diddy made some nasty statements. And then later on, he was like, look, Diddy kind of like half won the case and he was laughing about it. I think Trump wants Diddy to sit down a little bit, and suffer. Now, you know what? I shouldn't say that he would never pardon him, but I think Trump wants Diddy to sweat it out and sit it out a bit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But my prediction is he's going to give him 4 years, time served. So I'm thinking that right now, as I sit here with you guys, I'm thinking that, yes, he would get 4 years, time served, so he had to do another 3 years. I'm thinking he would have to do it. He's going to have to do another 3 years in there because of this judge. I mean, it's the judge's decision. He has given me no inclination that he likes Diddy at all. You know what I'm saying? There has been nothing, that showed me that this judge likes him. And when you don't have the judge liking you, that's big. That's big time right there. I think it's wrong. I think that, I think he's going to get 4 years. I think he should get time served. Like a couple of you people were saying inside the chat, I don't think it's going to go down like that, because if it was going to go down like that, the judge would have gave him a bail. Maria, the judge would have gave him bail. I'm just going by now. The judge probably talk to some people tonight or whatever and say, you know what, all right, I'm just giving him time served. But I'm thinking the judge wants to give him a significant amount of time. You know what I'm saying? I think the judge has an agenda against Diddy, and there's really nothing Diddy can do about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if the judge just don't like you, you got handed the wrong judge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if the judge is hell bent on keeping you in there, but I think the judge is smart enough not to give him 10 or 11 years, like the prosecution is asking, because like I said, the appeal is going to be very easy for Diddy at that point. But hit that like button, guys. Diddy was pimping. Yes. Diddy was pimping. Well, they try to say that he was pimping Cassie and Jane, but they were all adults. They were all adults. They weren't kidnapped, according to the jurors. You know what I'm saying? We got to go by what the jurors convicted him for. You know what I'm saying? If they convicted him for sex trafficking, then yeah, it'd be game set match for him, because then that'd be 15 years minimum. You know what I'm saying? Trump will pardon him if he serves any more time. Like I said, I kind of doubt that right now, but Trump might let him sit for a minute and then pardon him eventually. You know, but I think Trump wants him to suffer a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I really do. That judge is corrupt. I told Mark Agnifilo to investigate him. Hit that like button. Now, like I said, there have been people sending letters to the judge, telling the judge, look, keep him in there. You know, he's a danger to society, and I'm scared for my life, including Cassie sent the letter to the judge. Also, 50 Cent. 50 Cent is trolling Diddy. You know, this is courtesy of TMZ. 50 Cent said Diddy will create a baby oil shortage if you let him out, Judge. So even 50 Cent has been trolling and sent the letter to the judge trying to get Diddy, you know, some significant time. Now, let me read to you what 50 Cent told the judge. He said, "Dear Judge Submarinian, I have had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life." So 50 Cent said, look, I feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform to make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there. As you are already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appeared to be an army in 2 locations simultaneously. Later, his son, who's dealing with his own R-word allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public. And babies need it, and babies need it, meaning babies need the baby oil. My Netflix documentary on this scandalous subject is coming soon. So, 50 Cent trolling right there. Hit that like button. Y'all guys agree with 50 Cent? I say this, 50. I like 50, man. You see, they keep talking about how dangerous he is, but the jury said he's not guilty of that because that stuff is inside the RICO. Those were predicates of the RICO, the arson of the car, the threats, the this and that. The government did not prove that stuff. Those are predicates of the RICO to find him guilty of the RICO. And the 12 jurors said he's not guilty. So how can you sentence him on something that the 12 jurors said he's not guilty of? They said he was guilty of just the transportation, the baby oils and stuff like that. Is that worth the time that they're asking? And that's what we're trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 50 did that. Yes, 50 did that. 50 is nasty work, says Auto Will. If so, Puffy getting 10 years. The judge is Indian. Yes, the judge is Indian. The judge is Indian. DSW. The judge saw and heard story he didn't believe he would hear from Sean Combs, and he has a mother and wife, right, and daughter, right. 5 years and 15 years parole, says DSW. What up, DSW? Do you guys agree with DSW? I'm thinking 4 years. I think he should just get time served because I think that he was been in there for a year and a half. Now, normally, if you are John, right, or if you get caught for doing, out there picking up a prostitute, whatever, how much time do you really get in the states? In most states, how much time? Now he hired the sex workers. It was adults. Now there was no A minors in this case, I thought there was going to be A minors, underage people involved. There was not in this one. I say this: the feds or the government, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and charge the guy properly. Like I've been saying since I was watching the whole trial, I'm like, they highly overcharged them, and now they're going to try to over sentence him. I think it's bad. It's a bad look for the U.S. government to do that. I think it's awful. It sets a horrible precedent. You know what I'm saying? I think the jurors got it right by finding him not guilty with a lot of the stuff. But I think the jurors probably, I predicted they was going to do it. I think they should have found him not guilty for everything, because now you left that in the hands of this judge. I would have found him not guilty of everything and said, yo, charge him properly, come back with some proper charges so he can get sentenced properly. You know what I'm saying? You can't come, they threw all this stuff at him, trying to get him 15 years minimums and this and that, and they still get rewarded with the Mann Act conviction, which carries a maximum of up to 10 years on each count. He was convicted on 2 counts of that. So basically, you still rewarded the federal government or prosecutors, the prosecution, you still rewarded them. Because technically, he could still get 20 years in jail, in prison. And really, this should not have been that type of case at all. And they're throwing in testimony from the people that said he was abused and this and that. But he wasn't found guilty of that. So in a way, it is double jeopardy. Now, Diddy's lawyers, Diddy's team sent the message to the judge. Diddy's lawyers sent the message to the judge. They said the government's advocacy in this case has gone way beyond zealous, right? It is deeply troubling. It violates the revered principles so famously articulated by Attorney General Robert Jackson over 85 years ago about the proper role of the federal prosecutor, right? All right. So they're saying, look, this is nasty work. What's going on right here? This is nasty work. Diddy's team sent this to the judge today. They said the prosecutors have not lived up to those principles and apparently do not respect the unanimous verdict of 12 New York jurors in this case. So Diddy's team sent this message to the judge saying, look, how is the prosecution asking for 11 years and the 12 jurors said he's not guilty of the RICO, which carried a sentence, a minimum of 10 years. He's not guilty of the 2 sex trafficking charges, which carried a minimum of 15 years. And they said, but fortunately, the fate of Sean Combs is now in this court's hands. Like all human beings, Mr. Combs is flawed, but he is first to admit he made many serious mistakes, and he has been working very hard to better himself. And they have a point, guys. They have a point. They like, look, man, like, what are we doing here? Probation made clear its recommendation is based on the premise that there was force, fraud, and coercion here. Its recommendation is improperly based. In other words, on acquitted conduct. Yes, because the probation office is asking for like 7 years. Like I said, the prosecution is asking for 11 years. They're saying that, look, their premise is based on Diddy's violence, Diddy's force and coercion, but he was found not guilty of that. Hit that like button, guys. What do you got to say? They are arguing that he deserves 7 years. The probation office is arguing 7 years. The prosecutor is saying 11 years because of the coercion, the forcing of the Jane, the forcing of the Cassie to do the sex acts. Wow, the sex trafficking charges he was acquitted of, meaning found not guilty in layman's terms. So how are you using that as an argument? This is double jeopardy. Basically, they're saying to hell with what the jurors said. No, the jurors got it wrong. He's guilty, judge. Sentence this man to 10 years, 11 years, whatever. Hell, might as well get him for the Tupac. Say, hey, He took out Tupac. Give him 20 years. What are we doing? We went through the same thing with the charges. Like I said, I was at the courthouse. He was overcharged to begin with. So it was a kangaroo court to begin with. And now the sentencing is going to be a kangaroo court. Hit that like button, guys. You can't do that. You can't do that. They're arguing that he's violent, he's this and that, he's a danger, when he was found not guilty of that stuff. So why don't the judge just say, you know what? I found that the jury made a mistake. So I'm not going to accept the jury's verdict. I find them guilty. Why not? Why can't the judge just do that? Because that's apparently what the judge wanted to do. The judge want to find him guilty. He's guilty of sex trafficking. I say he's guilty. Y'all jurors got it wrong. 15 years. What are we doing? Like, this is where we're going. This is where we're headed. I say, look, let him go. And if you got evidence that he did this stuff, bring some more evidence and charge him for proper charges. You know what I'm saying? Because what we're doing right here, this is madness, to be honest with you. Is this double jeopardy? Diddy's team is saying, look, this is double jeopardy. How are you going to give this guy 11 years when he was found out guilty of the serious charges that carries minimum sentences of 10 years? Hit that like button. What's the Diddler's fate? We're trying to find out. We're going to find out what's the Diddler's fate. We're trying to find out. Let me see. Hit that like button. Let me see. And also, guys, now Gina was somebody that the feds was trying to get to testify. It was Diddy's ex-girlfriend. They were trying to say that Gina was a victim, okay? And they were trying to find her to come testify, but obviously they could not find her, and she did not testify against Diddy. Now, she sent the judge a letter today in defense of Diddy, and let's listen to what she had to say.
Disgraced rap mogul Sean Combs is 1 day away from being sentenced on prostitution charges. Now, his former girlfriend is pushing back on prosecutors' claims that she was sex trafficked. Combs' ex was identified as victim 3 in the indictment and Gina during his trial. In a letter, she told the judge that prosecutors pressured her to feel like a victim and believes Combs should be released to his family. Gina wrote that she told prosecutors that she was not trafficked, nor did she engage in prostitution with Combs or other people, but they concluded she was anyway. Gina was initially set to be called a witness during Combs' trial over the summer, but prosecutors later said they were not able to reach her.
Now, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That is big right there, because I said when I was watching this trial, when I was covering it, when I was down at the courthouse, and I was hearing the alleged victims and their statements, and I started to think to myself, these people were in relationships with Diddy, right? Are they there because they were subpoenaed and they are being told they were victims, and now they think they could get money out of it and this and that? Do they really feel that they are victims, or they are being forced to say they're victims? Now, this is Gina. Now, I was thinking this the same thing. I was thinking this before this Gina statement to the judge. I was always thinking this during the summertime, during the trial. I'm like, are these really victims, or is the feds, the prosecution, telling them they are victims? So they coming into the court saying, yeah, well, I'm a victim. I'm going to do a lawsuit eventually. Yeah, I'm going to get some money. Gina just proved right there that, because if she would have went in there and said she was a victim, that would have been another victim, another person testifying on behalf of the prosecution against Diddy. She said, look, I wasn't a victim. but they were trying to tell me I was a victim. When I'm telling them, no, I'm not a victim. They were, no, you are a victim. Come testify. This is crazy. This is nasty work, guys. Hit the like button. I don't care what nobody say. This is nasty work. I covered it. I was being as fair as possible with it, but this is nasty work. Maria says it's controlled. Judge is controlled like a puppet. Let me see. You never want to go to war with a rich person at 50, right? Yeah, like I said, 50 Cent is trolling. He's trolling hard right now. Hit that like button, guys. I don't know. I think this is nasty work by the prosecution. I think the judge is biased 100%. He doesn't like Diddy. I mean, everybody got their own bias people. You know. I know people that don't like Diddy at all. They want him to get 20 years. But I'm like, look, if he wasn't convicted of the stuff y'all are accusing him of, you can't just put people in jail for stuff that they were not convicted of. He did a whole month trial. The juror said not guilty. What is the 11 years coming from? Like, what is that for? Now, I said I was going to be fair. Now, if you want to do a makeup call, and I always said this, you want to do a makeup call, domestic violence, right? Domestic, and that happened in LA County, right? Domestic violence, LA County. Now, if you want to say, look, we seen him beat up Cassie, he need to go do some time. Now, he's been in jail for 1 year, right? How much time does domestic violence get inside LA County, guys? What's the max? Because I'm sure it's not. I don't think it was 11 years. No way. So let me see. And we all say domestic violence is bad. You know what I'm saying? What is the minimum domestic violence in LA County? Let me see. Minimum. Since if y'all want to do, some people want to do makeup. Look, he's guilty of that. Let's put him in jail anyway. All right. Los Angeles, domestic violence penalties in Los Angeles, right? Under PC, Penal Code 123.7, defendant sentenced for domestic violence must be placed on probation at least 3 years. Okay, so that's one thing right there. So that's 3 years probation. Okay, I don't see nothing about 11 years in prison for that. Penalties for domestic violence convictions. The penalties depend on the type of domestic violence offense, whether it's a misdemeanor or felony charge. I'm trying to see if anything says a 11-year sentence for that. Since let me see. I'm trying to bring that. If anybody got any information on what's the penalties for domestic violence in LA County, since like I said, we always discussed it by the video. I'm not saying that the beat down, but he's not charged for that. They keep saying that he need to do 11 years for that, but he wasn't charged. He wasn't convicted of that. But I mean, if you want to, I mean, it's not 11 years. Let me see. Like it says, most people convicted of domestic violence offenses in Los Angeles are placed on probation for a certain amount of time. All right, this is domesticviolence.com. Punishment, California, domestic violence attorney. Punishment for domestic violence. A domestic violence conviction will result in a minimum sentence of 3 years of probation. All right, I'm still seeing probation, guys. I'm not seeing 11 years. All right. Domestic violence penalties in California. A felony domestic violence offense can lead to up to 5 years in state prison Probation could also be as long as 5 years. So, guys, what are we doing? What are we talking about 11 years? So, even if you wanted to give Diddy time for domestic violence, it happened in LA, California. You know, if you want to do a makeup call with the judge, put him in jail, it's only up to 5 years. Up to 5 years in LA. And like I said, he wasn't charged with that. He wasn't convicted of that. But if you say, you're right, hey, wink, wink, let's do a makeup call. We hated that video, even though she got paid $20 million. Hey, let's put him in jail up to 5 years. Where's this 11 years coming from? For doing some tricking, like for paying for some hoes, to film them, like the consenting adults, no minors. What are we doing? You can't bring up the Tupac stuff because he's not charged with the Tupac stuff. You got to bring evidence. You can't just say this and say that, or else everybody gonna be going to jail. You're gonna put everybody gets to go to jail on rumors and innuendos, if that's the case. Or if you don't like a person personally, I don't really like that guy. I don't like him. I don't like Diddy had all that baby oil. I don't like he did all that freaky stuff with consenting adults. I don't like he was a swinger and had a crazy sex fetish, weird sex fetishes. Give him 11 years in prison. What are we doing? Bring me some evidence. Go to trial. And if he's found guilty, then put him in jail. But he was found not guilty of this stuff. Let me see. The Beatdown, WZP Raze. Shout out to you, D Monsters in the building. Hit that like button, guys. What are y'all thinking? He should walk free, says strictly travel. Yes, I think he should walk free with time served. He served a year and a half for prostitution, basically strictly travel for prostitution. They overcharged him. I was seeing this during the middle of the trial. They overcharged this guy. You know what I'm saying? Now they're going to over-sentence him, which will lead to a appeal, which he will win if he do get 11 years. That's why I think my prediction is the judge going to give him 4 years, knowing that, all right, that's better for an appeal to keep the, you know what I'm saying? Because if you give him 11 years, they're just going to appeal that. They might get the whole thing thrown out. Or Trump might do actually step in and give him a pardon. You know what I'm saying? Any Pop sighting? No, I haven't seen Pop. Pop is out there he's in Pakistan now, right? Shout out to Pop, by the way. Shout out to Pop doing this thing. Exactly, this is a bogus crime. Yeah, strictly travel. Like I said, I covered the thing, and as I was just reading some of the stuff during the middle of the trial, like this case is embarrassing. I mean, for the prosecution and even the federal government to even allow this case to go to court as a RICO. Now sex trafficking was kind of middle ground shady, but even that was a stretch. You know what I'm saying? That was a stretch, and he's found out guilty of those. So what are we doing? Why are you putting him in jail for 11 years for basically being a John or a trick, whatever you want to call him? Let me see. 50 Cent, for all what you did to Diddy, you have sons. Think that God are going to pay for. All right. Hit that like button, guys. What do y'all think is going to happen tomorrow? Like I said, man, Cassie is saying how scared she is of him. Like I said, if he want to get her touch, he could do that from the prison. Now, y'all do remember Cassie threatening to get people unalived herself.
So you're telling me that he showed you a video of who kidnapped Cassie? Then that's not a real video because he's never
in that position. You would have been naked. I'm just saying, if you
so
were,
he's in the video.
I'm saying if I had a picture.
Is he in the video?
Yeah, but I'm saying if I had a picture,
then that's not me.
But I'm just saying, look, hold on. You have to understand. If I had a picture of you naked.
If there's a picture of me naked, that's completely different than a video of me.
So
the video that he showed you, he's in it.
Yeah, we can try to pull it.
How are you gonna? Oh no, your phones are right here.
Try to pull it. You can try to pull it. You can try to pull it.
On the internet?
Yeah, you can try to pull it.
Where?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, which phone?
You can bring
the Samsung?
Yeah, you can bring it.
So you have it or you don't have it? Can you just be clear with me? Do you have it?
I saw it and I don't want to ever see it again.
I know you don't, but I want to see it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it. Bro.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
no, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you, and I will hide you, and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you, and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now.
Well, and that's the victim Cassie threatening. This case is weird. This is a weird case. It's wow. This is nasty work. What's going on? And we're gonna see what happens tomorrow with the judge. I can't see how you can give the guy 11 years. That's madness. That really is madness, guys. 11 years. Like I said, do y'all remember what he was actually convicted? He was not convicted of this stuff. He was charged with it, but he wasn't convicted. And remember, there was no minors. It's not R. Kelly, guys. R. Kelly was convicted of dealing with underage minors. Now, people would say this and that about Diddy, but he was not charged. He wasn't even charged with that. So, let alone this, he was found not guilty of the RICO, count 1. Not guilty of sex trafficking, count 2. Guilty of the prostitution, the Mann Act, count 3. I guess that's the Punisher guy and the pimps. I mean the prostitutes. And then not guilty on count 4, sex trafficking. I guess that's Cassie, whatever. And guilty of another Mann Act with the prostitutes. So you want to give a guy 11 years in prison for prostitution? That's what we're saying. From my knowledge, they didn't prove that he kidnapped any of these prostitutes. He didn't shove them in a car, take them across the border, and force them into prostitution. From the knowledge of the court that I've seen, Diddy did not have them working the streets out there and forcing them out there to sell their booty out there and bring him back the money. He was paying them, so it wasn't like he was pimping them. He didn't have them out on the street, right? For pay. Remember, these guys, and I'm looking at this, guys, the feds, they tried to take this guy's house. Because look, if he was found guilty of the RICO, that means his house, his assets would have been confiscated. When you found guilty of RICO and racketeering in the USA, they confiscate all your properties and whatever they want to confiscate. So they were trying to take this guy's property, his house, everything. If he was found guilty of that RICO, he was found not guilty. So they can't confiscate all that, but they still want 11 years. I'm at a loss for words. I'm like, well, I guess really shouldn't. Well, they're mad that they lost. So, but I'm disappointed at the judge. What is this judge doing? Like, what are you doing? You should have gave the guy at least bail after all that. It seemed like to me the judge was on the prosecutor's side. He is a former prosecutor himself. He wants to give Diddy a lot of time, but I think he's going to come to his senses tomorrow and say, look, I can't give him 11 years. I'm going to look unfair. I'm going to look, biased. I got to give him 4 years. I'm going to give him only 4 years time served, because if I give him 11 years, the appeal is going to be so easy for the Diddy defense team. And it's, I'm going to look bad. You know what I'm saying? So that's why my prediction is that Diddy tomorrow gets 4 years in prison, time served. So really 3 years. He still will appeal it, and we'll see what happened with Trump down the road. I think Trump wants him to sit a little bit because Trump don't like him because what he said about Trump. But maybe Trump will eventually pardon him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But yeah. Let me see. He is a level 1 offender at feds go, but they're on code. Yeah, you're level 1 offender. He hasn't been convicted of a crime before, but besides this is but that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't understand. That's why I'm like, well, if this is the case, that means this judge, the judge is holding him for a reason. Obviously, the judge really believed that he's a threat to society. Right? I mean, if he holds him, like he really believes that Diddy is a threat. I mean, why else would he hold him? You know what I'm saying? He believes he's a threat. He believes that he really did the thing that the jurors said he didn't do. Because really, guys, hit that like button. If this was a trial by judge, do y'all really believe Diddy would be found not guilty of RICO and sex trafficking? If this was trial by judge, this judge would have said he was guilty of everything. Let's be honest. I'm just calling it like I see it. This judge would have said he was guilty of everything. I think this judge is pissed off that the jurors came back with not guilty in the RICO and the sex trafficking. What do y'all guys think? I'm just calling it like I see it, guys. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm just calling it like I see it. Just a normal person. I'm no legal expert. You know, these are human beings. And there's this double jeopardy. His legal team is saying, look, this double jeopardy. Y'all done send these letters about violence and this and that. He was found out guilty of all that stuff. The coercion and forcing Cassie to do this. He was found out guilty. How can you add that? How can you put that in as a recommendation for the sentencing guidelines when he found out guilty of this? This is double jeopardy. You're trying to prosecute. You're going to sentence him for something he was found not guilty of, you know, courtesy of his peers, 12 peers in a jury room. They should be holding him. They didn't hold Trump. You mean they shouldn't be holding him? I think he should have got bail once he got acquitted of the RICO and sex trafficking. That should have been an automatic bail. Now, since he didn't give him bail on that, I think the judge thinks he's dangerous. And I think he believed that the jury got it wrong. That's why I'm saying he's going to give him 4 years. I'm just predicting he's going to give him 4 years because the way the judge has been acting, I don't think he should get 4 years. I think he should walk free. He did a year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you wanted to tackle another 6 months. Okay. But I mean, for this crime, you know, I say, hey, feds, go back to the drawing board and come back with some new charges and try again. Because this one was embarrassing. This was like overcharging. And I always said, if he was found guilty of the RICO and sex trafficking, that would have set an awful precedent. So I'm happy he was found not guilty of that. 100% happy, because that would have been an awful precedent for the USA to have him be found guilty with that shoddy evidence and just you know, copy and paste type case that the prosecution put together. And pretty much, like I said, and as Gina said, I guess these people that testified, they were forced to say they were victims. Because Gina said, look, I wasn't a victim. They hit me up saying I'm a victim. I told them I'm not a victim. They said, no, you are a victim. Come testify. And that's how they play.
Disgraced rap mogul Sean Combs is 1 day away from being sentenced on prostitution charges. Now, his former girlfriend is pushing back on prosecutors' claims that she was sex trafficked. Combs' ex was identified as victim 3 in the indictment and Gina during his trial. In a letter, she told the judge that prosecutors pressured her to feel like a victim and believes Combs should be released to his family. Gina wrote that she told prosecutors that she was not trafficked, nor did she engage in prostitution with Combs or other people, but they concluded she was anyway. Gina was initially set to be called a witness during Combs' trial over the summer, but prosecutors later said they were not able to reach her.
Hit that like button and shout out to Brandon Clark Stocks passport is in the building. Now, is the judge, this judge is supposed to be neutral and unbiased. Is this judge going to listen to Gina, what Gina just said? Is this judge going to listen to what any people that support Diddy in those letters to release him? Is he going to listen to that? She just said the prosecution was forcing her to say that she was a victim. And she telling them, no, I'm not a victim. I don't want to testify. They couldn't find her when it came time for her to testify. Is the judge going to look at that and say, you know what, maybe there is something to it? No, I don't think so. I think he's going to sentence Diddy to 4 years. It's a shame, but I think that's what's coming down tomorrow. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be live tomorrow, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Music Anime says hello. Salute Brandon Clark Stocks is in the building. Should get time served and probation. Yes, and that's what I mean. Time served because he did a year and a half, and that'll be basically for domestic violence and for the prostitution. I mean, but he should get like 5 years probation. Give him 5 years probation. Give him the anger management courses, definitely 100%. You know what I'm saying? And if he violate the probation, whatever the probation terms is, then lock him up. I mean, he's Diddy. I mean, what is he like? Yeah, I really believe Diddy is gonna do something to Cassie again. Like he's Diddy, he's being watched. You know what I'm saying? Now I do know some violent offenders get released and they do stuff, but he's all right. Well, let me see. What up, JJ's in the building? Salute to you, JJ. Trump is a 34-time convicted felon, no repercussions, says JJ. Let me see. Diddy getting railroaded. Let me see. Double click the stream, hit the like button. This case is a joke. Nowhere else in the world this guy would have been arrested for something that stupid. Yes, very stupid. Strictly travel. They overextended themselves with this one. I think it was a joke. I didn't think it was a joke from the beginning. I thought they really had him dead to rights. When they said Rico racketeering and they found guns inside his house and this and that, I thought it was serious. I thought they got him. I thought they had him for drug trafficking. Really, to be honest with you, did a sex trafficking? I'm like, well, okay, but I thought the main thing would have been the drug trafficking or whatever. I thought they had him for. Then they brought in that mule, that supposed mule that carries some personal use drugs. You're like on a plane. I'm like, what? Like this the drug trafficking with the mule? This the drug mule you talking about? What is this? Where was the underage minors I was promised? You know what I'm saying? Where's the victims that we all I seen was females that was in relationships with him for a few years and got millions of dollars from him. Yeah, they had their issues with him, but that's just grown folks doing stupidity and drugs and I mean, it was some bad stuff, some abuse and stuff there, but I mean, that's for them to settle. And you overcharged the guy. That was not a RICO. And the jurors agreed. So what are we doing here? What are we looking at 11 years for? You know, like I said, I don't want to make it a race thing because I don't know. I really don't know. But I just know that the judge don't like Diddy. Now, he is Indian descent. I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure Diddy have some Indian fans that grew up to his music and I like Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to make it a race thing. I'm just saying this judge, this person, this human don't like Diddy. He doesn't like him. Because any other judge would have gave Diddy bail one of these times, one of the other times. Any other judge would have gave him bail after he was acquitted of the RICO and sex trafficking. Definitely, he would have gave him some bail. I do not think Trump would pardon. Yeah, I don't think the government shutdown has anything to do with Trump not pardoning Diddy. I think what Diddy said about Trump when he was running as a Republican as for president the first time. I think that's Trump hold grudges. Now he might change his mind eventually if he is sentenced to like 11 years. He might say, all right, I'm gonna let him sit, let him sweat a bit, laugh at him a bit, then I'm gonna pardon him, and he's gonna have to suck up to me and praise me and stuff like that. Because Trump will get a lot of press for that. You know what I'm saying? So you know how Trump is. So who knows? He's very unpredictable, Trump is. You don't think he might enjoy prison? No, because he been trying to get out of there. He was asking for bail right 4 times already. I told everybody he got something against Puff that we don't know about because he's not playing around with him. Yeah, but that's not up for him to decide. It's up for the courts to bring. If he got something against Puff, that's not up for the judge to decide. I mean, what does he? So bring it to evidence. Look, the trial is over. What else does he have against? What does Judge Submarinian have against Puff? He got some things. You saying some more indictments coming down? Well, bring the indictments. Let him go until the indictments. That's what I'm saying. Let him go into the indictments. Where is he gonna go? Cape Verde? He gonna escape to Cape Verde, or you think he's gonna escape where Russell Simmons at out there inside the where he was, wherever the Russell Simmons at? Like, what's the big deal? Like, give the guy bail. I mean, he should have gave him bail anyway. But I don't understand. What are we doing? He was found guilty of prostitution. That's all I know. All this other stuff that he has evidence of something else coming down. Oh, well, that's something that doesn't concern me at all until I actually see the indictment. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I care about something that this judge may have? That's just nonsense. Like I was telling somebody else the other day, well, hell, just give him 20 years if this is the case for the Tupac murder. See, people want to say he did that to Tupac. Oh, he did that too. He behind Tupac. Well, what's to stop him from giving 20 years? If we playing that game, that stuff has zero to do with this case. People that don't like Diddy just want to add on for stuff they think he did, or rumors, or because he had bad contracts at Bad Boy Records, which he did. He gave us some horrible contracts. Cheated people out of money. But that's not part of this case. You know what I'm saying? You got to come back with some evidence. You got to form a case. That's not this case. Maybe it'll be another case a few months down the road. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what this trial was about. Like I said, it wasn't even about domestic violence. And like I said, even domestic violence in LA County normally is probation. You know what I'm saying? Or up to like 5 years in prison or something like that. So even if you wanted to make a makeup call, say he beat up Cassie, but the statute of limitations went out and we couldn't prosecute him for it, well, we're going to give him time for that as a makeup call. But even that's only up to 5 years because he did it in LA County, up to 5 years. Where's the 11 years coming from? Do y'all not understand what I'm saying? Or y'all just want to say, lock him up because he's Puff Daddy. He's Diddy. I don't like him. Well, hopefully you guys are never in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button and subscribe. And y'all damn sure we get life because y'all don't have the millions like he got to have high-powered attorneys. You know what I'm saying? The judge is salty with Diddy because Diddy made him walk to Junior's for a cheesecake. So he was part of the making a band. He walked. He had to walk to oh man. Not a race thing. It's about USA, bro. You black and got money, no breaks. I think this thing is a personal thing. For whatever reason, this judge doesn't like Diddy. He doesn't like him. You know what I mean? And he just doesn't like him. Now, I'm thinking he's going to stop short of giving him that 11 years. I think he's going to give him 4 because he knows how it'll look if he do give him 11 years. It's going to be an easy appeal for the Diddy team. You know what I mean? And it's going to it's going to make the judge look bad in reality, even though you're going to have the Tisa Tells and other haters that don't like Diddy, that wants him to get 11 and to 20 years for this stuff. It's going to make them happy, but it's not going to make the USA justice system look good with that. And it's not going to make the judge look good, to be honest with you. So, but I'm just using my common sense. I'm just looking at it from a common sense, point of view. I think he's going to get 4 years, time served, 3 years, and they're going to do an appeal. I think he should just get time served, though. That, see, what I predict is different than what I think he should get. Because he's been in it for a whole year. He's did a year and a half, almost a year and a half for, I guess, the beat down. He paid like 30, 40 million for his defense. You know what I'm saying? They tried to take his house. He's embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how much more do you want for a prostitution conviction? This is a prostitution conviction, guys. He was convicted of prostitution, not sex trafficking, and not the RICO. Yeah, Uptown Romeo. He already did a year. I hope this time served. Why do you want us to be empathetic for Diddy? No Diddy. Larry Bird is not about feeling empathetic for Diddy. It's about the law of the land. You would want us to feel. You would want us to be like, hey, Larry Bird, if you was in the same position, you would want us to say, nah. If you was found out guilty of what they're trying to put him in jail for, he was found not guilty. He was found not guilty of the serious charges. So, all right, Larry Bird, if you were to go out and get caught buying some hoes in the street, and you know, you get arrested, and they start adding all these other charges, they do add the prostitution charge, but they want to get you on a murder you didn't commit. They want to get you on RICO and racketeering, Larry Bird. So they got you in there, but they did add the prostitution charge too as the lower charge. You got found guilty of murder. You got found not guilty of the kidnapping, and you got found not guilty of the RICO. But yet you was found guilty of prostitution, and they mad because they didn't get you on the murder, they didn't get you on a RICO and the kidnapping. So they mad. But they got you on the prostitution, and they asked for 15 years in prison for prostitution because they couldn't get a conviction on you for the other stuff that they said you did. How would you feel, Larry Bird? How would you feel? And I think I'm going to end it on that. I'll be back live tomorrow. And we will discuss whatever the sentence is. Have a great night, guys. We will be back tomorrow. Hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. Raze, Hot Topics. The sentencing hearing is 10 a.m. in the morning, East Coast time. We will be covering it live. Hit the like button. Get the likes up. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Raze, and I am out.